Okay guys, another accounting video again, another day. Another sakit ng ulo na naman po tayo today. Ngayon natapos na natin to. Dito na tayo ngayon for today's video discussion. Absorption costing versus variable costing, or minsan tinatawag siya as product costing. So ano bang meron sa product costing? Siyempre, rationalization muna tayo. Bakit mo ulit kailangan ng product costing? Let's say for example, we are manufacturing a t-shirt. Yan. Nagma-manufacture tayo ng t-shirt. In order for us to manufacture a t-shirt, ano mga kailangan natin? Siyempre, kailangan mo ng material such as fabric, thread, buttons o yung botones, color materials, prints, di ba? Or embroidery kung gusto mo man i-customize yung t-shirt na yan, lagyan mo ng prints yan, o gusto lagyan mo ng mga caption yan. Ano pa ba? Possible, yung machines na kailangan natin, kailangan mo ng machine oil, or pwedeng kailangan para meron tayong sanitation na maayos, kailangan mo ng factory cleaning and supplies. O yan yung mga total materials na kailangan natin in order for our business to operate and para magawa mo yung t-shirt na kailangan mo. Ano pa? Siyempre, hindi mo magagawa yung t-shirt na yan kung materials lang ang meron ka. Diba? Kailangan mo ng mga tinatawag natin na conversion cost, which is one of the conversion cost na tinatawag. Meron tayong mga labor cost, diba? Kailangan mo dyan ng cutting process, sewing process, o yung pressing. Pag kailangan mo ng printing dyan, diba? Pine-press natin usually yung prints dyan. Ano pa? Minsan, kailangan mo siyang i-undergo into a quality inspection. In addition of that, meron supervisor, di ba? Meron tayong labor of a factory supervisor. Mga labor din yung mga yan. And possible, di ba? Syempre, para ma-print mo yan, para magamit mo yung pressing na yan, para magamit mo yung sewing and cutting na yan, kailangan natin ng electricity. In addition of that, saan mo ginagawa yung business natin? Kailangan mo ng renta doon sa factory in case na nangungupahan ka. Possible, kailangan mo ng sewing or cutting process. Syempre, kailangan mo ng machine. Kailangan mong i-depreciate yung machine. Diba? So yan yung mga total cost na usually kailangan natin in order for us to manufacture our own t-shirt. So bakit importante yung mga cost na yan? Bakit ko yan sinulat? O ito classify ko na sila. Itong portion na to, yan yung mga materials natin. Itong portion na to, ito yung mga labor natin. Ito namang nasa gitna natin, ito yung mga factory overhead natin. Okay, mga overhead or yung mga costs that are necessary to produce such product pero hindi siya directly traceable sa product natin. Now, your labor can either be a direct labor and an indirect labor. Yung direct labor, yan yung direct labor natin. Direct labor cost, di ba? Kung maalala mo yung computation ulit natin ng cost of goods sold, yung extended sa total manufacturing cost, di ba? Meron tayo nung raw materials beginning, i-add mo yung raw materials purchased. This is equal to your total raw materials available for use. I-less mo lang yung raw materials ending. This is equal to your direct materials. Ito ngayon yun. Yung direct materials na ginamit natin or raw materials used. I-add mo yung direct labor, i-add mo yung overhead. This is equal to your total manufacturing cost. So ito yung sinasabi natin. Direct labor, ito yung mga yan. Directly or labor that are necessary to produce such product that are directly traceable or it takes form part of the majority of the labor cost doon sa product natin. Okay? And meron tayong indirect labor. Saan napupunta ang indirect labor? Nandito po lahat yan sa overhead. Any other indirect costs are considered as part of overhead. Any other direct labor are part of direct labor cost. Sa materials natin, pwede mo ding hatiin yan as to direct materials and indirect materials. Same concept. Direct materials, eto ngayon yan. Okay? Indirect materials, papasok lang ulit yan sa overhead account natin. Okay? And yung mga iba pang overhead natin dito na hindi nanggaling sa labor and hindi nanggaling sa materials, tawag dyan factory overhead. Indirect labor plus indirect materials plus your factory overhead, that equals to your total manufacturing overhead. Ito yan ngayon. Okay? O, bakit kailangan ulit tinuro yan? Bakit bracket ko diniscuss yung mga yan? Etong direct labor, direct materials, and itong overhead natin, yan direct labor, mga direct materials, total manufacturing overhead, ang tawag natin dyan, product cost. Kaya siya tinawag na product costing. pag-aaralan natin ano ba yung mga nasa cost sa paggawa ng product natin na yan. And meron ka pang additional cost. Ito mga to. Other cost in conducting business. For example, para mabenta mo yan, kailangan mo ng commission. Pinabenta mo yan or pina-consign mo yan. Meron kang mga selling expense, mga advertising expense. Nandito yung mga yan. Administrative expenses, possible, di ba? Kailangan mo ng mga accountants na hindi naman kailangan sa pag-manufacture ng business pero binabayaran mo yung mga yan. Ang tawag sa kanila, mga administrative expenses. Etong dalawang to, si selling expense and si administrative expenses, ang tawag natin ngayon dyan, period cost. So kung maalala mo, di ba, dun sa may first discussion natin with regards to MS01 natin, meron kang product cost and period cost. Anong difference ulit? Pag product cost, ito yan ha, product cost, inventoriable cost. Period cost, expense outright. Malinaw. So ngayon, dito kapunta muna kayo tayo dito sa portion na to. Okay? Yung product cost natin, pwede mo yang hatiin or i-subclassify into a variable product cost and fixed product cost. Ano ulit yung difference ng variable and fixed? 'Di ba? Pag variable fixed cost tayo, fixed cost or variable cost tayo, variable cost per unit are constant. Pero yung total variable cost varies directly as the cost driver or as the activity driver at activity driver's movement. Ibig sabihin lang, kapag tumataas yung activity driver, tumadami yung nabebenta mong or pinoproduce mong t-shirt, tumataas yung total variable cost. Pero yung variable cost per unit, constant. Yung variable cost para ma-produce yung isang product, constant. Pero yung total variable cost ko, pag dumadami yung units na pinoproduce ko, tumataas yung total variable cost. Kapag naman fixed cost, sabi natin, total fixed cost are constant. Pero yung fixed cost per unit, it varies inversely. Okay? With regards to the activity driver. Kasi nga, kung fixed cost natin is constant, ibig sabihin yung rent, diba? Yung rent natin dyan, pag 100,000 yan a year, 100,000 yan regardless kung ilan yung ma-produce mo, 50,000 man, 40,000 man, or 60,000 man. Fixed cost is constant in total. Okay? Paano ngayon malalaman yung total fixed cost per unit natin? Diba? Simply, yung total fixed cost, i-divide ko lang sa number of units na na-produce ko. So, pag mas marami yung number of units na napoproduce ko, mas maraming units ko ina-allocate yung total fixed cost ko. Kaya, mas bumababa yung fixed cost per unit. Okay? So, product cost, it can be classified into variable and fixed cost. Ang tawag dyan, total production cost. Okay? Which is, take note mo product cost is an inventoriable cost. Ibig sabihin, kapag bumili ka ng fabric, thread, buttons, collar, binayaran mo yung cutting, sewing, pressing, quality inspection, hindi pa yan expense. Okay, binayaran mo yung factory rent, nagbayad ka ng electricity, nagbayad ka ng machine department. That's a cost. Okay, nabayaran mo na yung cost na yan para ma-produce mo itong t-shirt mo na yan. Pero hindi pa daw yan ini-expense. 'Di ba? Yung mga cost na incur mo dito, yung product cost mo daw na yan, inventoriable. Meaning, asset pa yan. Okay, asset pa po yan. Saan papasok? Inventory. Okay, that takes form part of your cost of your inventory. Ulitin natin. Si product cost, yung mga cost mo dito, hindi pa yan expense. Okay, hindi pa yan papasok sa income statement mo. Wala ka pa dyang i-debit expense dahil bumili ka nito, credit cash, wala pa. Okay, inventoriable cost. Papasok daw muna yan sa total inventories natin. Sabi daw, inventoriable costs are expense only kapag nabenta na. When sold. Okay? Expense when sold. Wherein, meron tayong tinatawag na period cost dito. Si period cost, pwede ring variable and fixed. Okay, for example na lang, si selling expenses. Diba, meron ka nang binayaran dyan na advertising expenses. Part of selling expenses yan. Fixed yan, annually. So, fixed cost yon. Dito yon. Possible, pinapabenta mo yung t-shirt mo. Diba, yung pinapabenta mo, sabi mo, meron kang share dyan na 5 pesos every t-shirt na mabenta mo. O, ang tawag doon, variable cost. Commission expense. Okay? Period cost, pero pwede ding variable and fixed. Okay? Ang difference lang si product cost, inventoriable cost. Yung cost dyan, part ng inventory. Si period cost daw, yun. Total operating expense. Yan yung kapag nabayaran mo, expense na outright. Okay? Expense na yan outright, hindi na yan mapupunta muna sa asset. Hindi yan pupunta muna sa inventory. Ang mangyayari dyan, expense yan outright. Nagbayad ka ng advertising expense, ang debit mo dyan, debit advertising expense, credit cash. Diba dito? Nagbayad ka ng pasahod sa suwing, o debit ka daw muna ng inventory, credit ka daw muna ng cash. Okay? Or direct debit ka ng direct labor, credit ka ng cash. Ganun muna. Okay, product cost, inventoriable cost. Period cost, operating expenses. Okay? So, yung inventoriable cost natin dyan, yung total production cost natin para mahanap mo lang yung estimate or yung number o yung cost per unit. Bakit ulit importante? Bakit kailangan mong mahanap yung cost per unit natin? Diba, na-discuss natin yan dun sa may process costing and product costing. Importante ang cost per unit natin kasi yan usually nagiging basis kung magkano mo ibebenta yung product. Okay? So therefore, ang ginagawa mo, for example, total production cost ko is nasa 100,000 na. Okay, total production cost ko dito, 100,000 pesos na. Yung units na na-produce ko, yung t-shirt na na-produce ko, nasa 1,000 units. O ibig sabihin, yung total cost ng new t-shirt ko, 100 pesos. Gusto ko siyang ibenta ng 200, meron akong kita ng doble. So, multiply ko siya by 2. Bebenta ko siya 200 pesos. 'Di ba? Kaya importante yung cost per unit natin kasi diyan usually yung basis natin kung magkano natin siya ibebenta. And para ma-compute mo yung cost per unit, yung total production cost divided by the estimated number of units na na-produce. Okay, na in relation diyan sa tinatawag na estimated, si product costing, we implement here the word normal costing. Okay, normal costing muna tayo dito. Nasa normal costing, sabi daw sa normal costing, ito yung rule sa normal costing tandaan natin. Lahat daw ng variable cost na mai-incur natin, yung amount daw dyan is an actual cost. Okay, so ibig sabihin dito sa product cost, nagbayad or nag-produce, bumili ka ng fabric dyan. Alam mo na kung magkano yung actual cost natin sa fabric. Okay, sa fixed cost naman, sabi daw, we usually estimate it. Okay, ini-estimate lang natin kasi imagine mo, electricity. 'Di ba? Malalaman mo ba kung magkano yung electricity na babayaran mo sa isang t-shirt? 'Di ba? Magkano yung nakonsumong electricity ng isang t-shirt? No. 'Di ba? Malalaman mo yung electricity na babayaran natin by next month pa. 'Di ba? Pag nag-reading na si Meralco sa atin. Pag nag-reading na yung electric company sa atin. 'Di ba? Tsaka mo lang malalaman kung magkano yung total electricity natin. So pag malaman mo, tsaka mo lang malalaman yan next month, na-produce mo na lahat ng goods natin ng 20th of that month. 'Di ba? Alangan namang ibenta mo pa yan next month. 'Di ba? Kailangan ibenta mo na yan the moment na ma-produce mo 'yun. Sir, paano ko siya ibebenta? Hindi ko nga alam kung magkano yung total cost ng electricity. Kung hindi ko alam yung total cost ng electricity, hindi ko malalaman kung magkano yung inventoriable cost ko. Hindi ko alam kung magkano ko siya ibebenta kasi hindi ko alam kung magkano yung cost per unit ko. So anong gagawin natin? We estimate. Ayan, estimate mo lang yung fixed cost. Okay, ulitin natin si normal costing Sa normal costing usually, nagiging time constraint lang tayo dito. Okay, ito yung nagiging dilemma usually kapag meron kang business. Fabric, thread, buttons, alam mo naman kung magkano yung mga yan. Bago mo ilagay yan sa t-shirt natin, alam mo na kung ilang botones ang nilalagay mo dyan. Kasi may design yan. And alam mo kung magkano yung bili mo sa isang botones. So alam mo kung magkano yung cost natin usually sa mga variable materials. Okay, sa mga direct materials which is a variable cost. 'Di ba? Variable cost yan. Variable cost yan. So sabi, variable cost, alam mo kung magkano yung actual cost. Ang problema, si fixed cost. Okay, etong mga overhead natin na to. Hindi naman actually talaga total fixed cost. Ang problema natin, itong mga overhead natin na yan. Yung mga overhead, specifically electricity, factory rent, okay, yung mga machine department. Oo, alam natin kung magkano yung factory rent ko, sir, kasi fixed naman yan annually. Pero tanong, alam mo ba kung magkano mapuproduce mo or ilan yung mapuproduce mo this week or this month? Hindi. Tama? Example natin, itong electricity. Ito pa, machine oil. Diba? Alam mo ba kung ilang machine yung magagamit natin sa isang month? Or ilang machine oil yung magagamit natin sa isang month? 1 litro ba? Tama ba usually yung talaga bang, for example, 1 litro ginamit mo last month? 1 litro din magagamit natin this month? Electricity, for example, ang binayaran mo last month, 5,000. Ang babayaran mo this month, sure ka ba, 5,000 din yan? Diba? Usually, nagbabago pa ang price per kilowatt natin. Usually, nababago pa ang pagkonsumo mo ng kuryente. So, we never know the actual cost. Pag hindi mo alam yung actual cost, hindi mo mako-compute kung magkano yung cost per unit. Kung yung basis ng selling price mo is yung cost per unit, hindi mo malalaman kung magkano mo siya ibebenta. Kung hindi mo alam kung magkano mo siya ibebenta, paano mo yan mabebenta? Walang selling price yan. Therefore, anong gagawin natin? Kailangan mong mahanap yung cost per unit muna. Paano ko nga malalaman yung cost per unit kung hindi ko alam yung mga cost ng electricity ko? Anong gagawin mo? We estimate. Okay, usually fixed costs are being estimated. Nasabi dyan, fixed cost, ina-estimate daw natin yan based on the normal production capacity. Kaya nga tinawag siya as normal costing. Okay, sana malinaw sana malinaw yung concept ng normal costing. Normal costing tayo for product costing. Ang concept ng normal costing, variable cost, lahat yan naka-actual cost. Fixed cost, naka-estimate lang yan. Okay? And naka-base yan sa normal production capacity. Balikan lang ulit natin sa product costing. Importante yan. Bakit? Kasi kailangan natin, importante yan. Bakit? O dito sa product costing, tandaan natin, meron tayong product cost and period cost. Ang product cost and period cost, pwede mong hatiin yan into variable and fixed. Product cost are inventoriable cost. Period cost are expense outright. Okay tayo. Okay ito pala, nasabi ko pala dito, variable cost per unit. Ito, variable cost per unit na actual tayo dapat yan. Actual cost, constant ang per unit. Pero ang total cost, it varies directly sa activity driver. Fixed cost per unit naman natin na naka-estimate yan. Sabi daw, inversely related yan. Bakit? Kasi yung fixed cost per unit, kino-compute mo yan, yung total estimated fixed cost. Kasi nga, fixed yan, di ba? 100,000 yan. Divided by the normal capacity, ito yung makukompute mo. Fixed cost per unit. Kaya, next. Sige, apply natin muna. Illustration tayo. Sabi dyan, Bagnet Corporation has the following information pertaining to its only product with a normal capacity of 50,000. Take note mo normal capacity daw, 50,000 unit. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng normal capacity? O ibig sabihin na lang, for example, meron kang t-shirt. Nagpo-produce ka ng t-shirt. Meron kang renta. Doon mo tinatago yung mga t-shirt natin. O syempre naman, alam naman natin, ang renta, meron natatakpan niya ng 4 na pader. Or yung factory mo na, natatakpan niya ng 4 na pader. Hindi yan extendable. Kung extendable ba yan, merong limit yan. 'Di ba? So, ibig sabihin, merong limit kung ilang number of units lang, ilang number of t-shirt lang, ang kaya mong itago doon. Okay? Kaya meron tayong tinatawag na normal capacity. Ibig sabihin, okay, malinaw yun. Ibig sabihin, meron lagi tayong constraint. Meron kang rent, meron kang factory. Okay, yung tao mo na yan, yung mga pinapasahod mo na yan, 10 lang yan, napapagod yan. Ang oras natin, 24 hours lang. Ang shift ng mga yan, 8 oras lang. Possible or anong mangyayari dyan, ibig sabihin, yung number of units na napoproduce natin dito, usually merong capacity yan. Okay, merong limit yan. Ito yun, normal capacity. Kaya we apply normal costing. Okay, tandaan mo normal costing. Okay, sinabi pa, direct materials ko, 10 pesos per unit. Direct labor, 8 pesos per unit. Variable overhead, 9 pesos per unit. So, yung variable overhead natin na yan, kung i-imagine natin yan, it composes of your indirect materials and your indirect labor. Okay? And fixed overhead, 200,000 per year daw. Variable selling and admin, 5 pesos per unit. Fixed selling and admin, 50,000 per year. Requirement. Assume 50,000 units was sold. Compute for the product cost. O magkano ba product cost natin? 50,000 daw ang naibenta natin. Ano ulit yung composition ng product cost natin? Yan direct materials, direct labor, and yung total manufacturing overhead. O direct materials ko, ayun, 10 pesos. Okay, direct materials ko, 10 pesos. Ilan units ang na-produce ko? 50,000. O magkano ngayon yan? 10 times 50,000 units, that is equal to 500,000 pesos. Ayun. Okay, direct labor ko, 8 pesos. 8 multiplied by 50,000 units kasi yun yung nabenta ko. 8 times 50,000, that is equal to 400,000. Variable overhead, part ng overhead ko yan, 9 pesos. 9 multiplied by 50,000, that is equal to 9 times 50,000, this is equal to 450,000. Ano pa ba? Fixed overhead, o part yan overhead, o 200,000 per year, ha? Gamitin mo na yan, 200,000 per year. Constant yan, fixed yan. Sinabi ko ulit ha, variable cost, total cost ng variable, it varies directly sa number of units na napoproduce or sa activity driver. For example, di ba, yung nabenta mong 50,000, yung direct materials, fixed cost per unit. Direct material is an example of variable cost. Yung 10 pesos na yan, regardless kung ilan ang ibenta mo, fixed yan. 10 pesos. Pero for example, 60,000 units ang nabenta ko. 60,000 units ang nabenta ko times 10, yung total cost ko na sa direct material 600,000. Tumaas kasi naging from 50 naging 60. Tataas din yung total cost per unit or total cost in peso ko. Okay, total cost tataas din from 500 magiging 600,000. Yun ang sinasabi ko kaninang direct materials vary directly sa activity driver or sa cost driver natin. Wherein si total fixed cost naman, yung total niyan constant. Pero yung number of units niyan, per unit, cost per unit, it varies inversely. Pabaliktad. Pag tumataas yung number of units, bumababa yung cost per unit. Kasi for example, 200,000. Pag tinanong mo, magkano yung cost per unit ng fixed cost ko? 200,000 divided by 50,000, 4 pesos. For example, naging 60. Tumaas from 50 to 60. Anong i-assume natin? Yung 4 pesos dapat bababa. Bano? Kasi 200,000 divided by 60,000, that is equal to 3.33. Anong nagiging concept? Mas dumadami yung 200,000 ko na fixed cost. Mas marami akong pinag-a-allocatean kapag tumataas yung number of units na napoproduce ko. Okay, so yun yung concept ng fixed cost per unit. Okay, so ito na yung mga total product cost natin. Natatapos naman yan sa factory overhead. Itong dalawa naman natin, considered yan as period cost. Ito naman, considered as product cost. Ito, total ko lang yan. Magkano daw total product cost ko? That is 500 plus 400 plus 450 plus 200. That is equal to 1,550,000. Kaya yung sagot natin dito, 1,550,000 total product cost. Total period cost. Alam mo na, total period cost. Fixed selling and admin, 5 pesos. Multiplied by yung number of units na na-produce ko, 50,000. That is equal to 5 times 50,000. That is equal to 250,000 pesos. And fixed cost ko, selling and admin, 50,000. That is equal to 300,000. Total period cost ko, nasa 300,000 pesos. Number 3, compute for the total variable cost. Bahin natin variable cost naman daw ang hinahanap dito. Ano yung mga variable cost ko? Direct material, variable, fixed. Ito rin, variable. So, ulitin natin. 10 times 50,000, alam mo na yan, 500,000. Yung mga variable na lang, ito na yan, 10 times 50,000, 500,000. 8 times 50,000, that is 400,000. So, add ko dito, 400,000. 9 times 50,000, that is 450,000. Variable, variable. Fixed, fixed yan. Variable, 5. 5 times 50,000, that is equal to, ito na, 250,000. Add ko lang dito, 250,000. Total variable cost ko, nasa 1,600,000. Okay. Total fixed cost ko, magkano? 250. That is equal to 250,000. I-notice mo to. Yung total product and period cost ko, 1,550 plus 300, that is equal to 1,850,000. Ito, try mo. 1,600 plus 250, that is equal to 1,850,000. Total, di ba, balance. Bakit? Kasi nga sinabi natin, product cost can be variable and fixed. Period cost can be variable and fixed. So usually, pag pinagsama mo yung variable, i-add mo yung fixed, that is equal to your total product and total period cost. Same dito. Okay, Okay, So, dito ang gusto ko lang ituro sa illustration natin na to. Okay, kailangan mong matutong mag-classify kung ano ba yung product cost. So, i-take note mo, product cost natin, lahat ng cost na pumapasok sa inventories. That is your direct labor and your direct materials. Plus, yung factory overhead ng pinanggagalingan ng total manufacturing overhead natin, yung indirect labor and yung indirect material. Plus, yung mga factory overhead dito. And meron tayong mga period cost. Ng period cost, yung selling expense and admin expense lang. Okay? And product cost and period cost, meron tayong mga variable. For example, ng variable, yung mga labor and materials. Yung mga fixed natin, for example, factory rent. Period cost, meron din tayong variable and fixed. Usually, yung fixed, yung sahod ng accountant dito, admin expense. Yung variable, yung commission expense kapag pinabenta mo yan, nandito. Okay, Okay, ang difference lang, pag product cost, inventoriable, pag period cost, expense, outright. Okay. Now, i-assume natin, hindi yun yung problema sa product costing. Okay, ito yung magiging problema sa product costing. Assume the selling price of 50,000 or 50 pesos per unit. Prepare an income statement. Okay, ngayon ito. Sa income statement natin, meron na tayong two types with regards to product costing. Meron tayong tinatawag na absorption costing and variable costing. Anong difference? Absorption costing, familiar ka na dyan. Nag-financial accounting and reporting ka na. Intermediate accounting, alam mo na yan. That is simply your sales, less cost of goods sold, equals your gross profit, less operating expenses, that equals to your net income. Okay, yung absorption costing, i-take note mo na lang, absorption costing is in accordance with PFRS. Okay, ganito mo siya i-present sa financial statements, absorption costing. Pero merong times kasi na kailangan daw ng analyzation or maggawa ng decision making ni management. Si management, mas gusto niya yung variable costing. And yung variable costing dito, kinaklasify mo yung cost natin according to their behavior. And the behavior can be variable cost and fixed cost. Pag absorption costing kasi, depende sa function. Pag sinabing function, ano ba yung purpose? Yung mga function natin, it can be a product and period cost. So, ibig sabihin sa absorption costing, ikaklasify mo siya into product and period cost. Okay, kapag variable costing, ika-classify mo ang cost natin sa variable and fixed cost. So that is simply sales less variable cost equals to your contribution margin. Less yung fixed cost that equals to your net income. Eh sir, di ba? Sinabi mo naman total product cost and period cost 1,850, total variable cost and fixed cost 1,850, equal lang din yan. O try natin ha. O, sales ko 50 pesos per unit. 50 pesos per unit, ilan na benta ko daw? 50,000 units, that is equal to 2,500,000. So, sales ko dito, 2,500,000, parehas lang dito, 2,500,000. Cost of goods sold ko, yung cost of goods sold ko, that is your product cost. Ito yan, 1,550,000. Yung gross profit ko, that is 2,500,000 less 1,550,000. Yung total gross profit ko is nasa 950,000. Less operating expenses, yung period cost, that is your 300,000. 950 less 300,000, that equals to 650,000 of total net income pag absorption costing. Pag naman daw variable costing, sales ko 2.5, variable cost ko 1,600,000. Yung total contribution margin ko, 2.5 less 1.6. This is equal to 900,000. Less ko yung fixed cost ko na 250,000. 900 less 250. This is equal to 650,000. Ayun. Pareho lang. Okay? Kaso, mas gusto ni management yung variable costing kasi daw mas na-analyze daw nila kung magkano ba yung talagang cost ng product ko. 'Di ba? 1.6. Magkano ba yung cost na hindi ko makokontrol kasi fixed na daw yan? 250,000. Okay? Unlike sa PFRS naman, naka-function. Cost of goods sold and operating expenses. Nakadepende sa product cost and sa mga period cost. So sir, bakit kailangan pang gawin yan? 'Di ba? Kung pareho lang naman pala, absorption and variable costing. Take note mo to. Pareho lang si absorption and variable costing kapag yung units na na-produce, assume natin ang units na na-produce 50,000, and yung units na nabenta is equal to the units na na-produce, pareho ang income ni absorption and variable costing. Pero what if i-assume natin hindi na pareho? Magkaiba na yung units na na-produce sa units na nabenta. Possible ba yon? Yes. 'Di ba? Possible ang binenta ko 50,000 or ang produce ko 50,000. Ang mabibenta ko lang 45,000 units. Yung natirang 5,000 ending inventory ko, 'di ba? O ngayon, i-assume natin. Let's assume 40,000 units is sold. Prepare the income statement. O 40,000 na nabenta, selling price natin 50 pesos. Kakalculatorin ko na po O 50 pesos, multiply it by 40,000 units. Yung total sales natin is nasa 2,000,000 pesos. Sige ko na dito 2 million pesos yung total sales. Okay. Cost of goods sold. Absorption costing muna tayo. Variable cost natin. Sa cost of goods sold, magkano? Ito yan, di ba? 10, 8, and 9. Total ko na. 10 plus 8 plus 9. Total variable cost ko sa product costing ko is nasa 27 pesos per unit. Multiplied it yung total na benta ko. 40,000 units. This is equal to 1,080,000. Yung total fixed cost ko, magkano? Ito, fixed nga yan 200,000. Okay? Okay, sorry. Cost of goods sold ko, total fixed cost ko, 200,000, tama? Dito tayo ngayon magkakatalo. Okay, alisin ko to. Dito tayo ngayon magkakatalo sa fixed cost natin with regards to absorption costing. Kasi nga, di ba, ang ginagawa natin sa absorption costing, yung total na na-produce ko, 50,000 units. Ang nabenta ko lang, 40,000 units. So, ibig sabihin yung total fixed overhead ko na 200,000, total fixed overhead ko yan for 50,000 units na na-produce ko. Therefore, kung hahatiin ko yan, 200,000 fixed overhead divided by 50,000 of total units na na-produce ko. 4 pesos per unit ang total fixed cost per unit ko. 'Di ba? Ang nabenta ko lang 40,000, therefore multiply it by 40,000, yung total fixed lang pala na naibenta ko. Total fixed cost ko lang. Since hindi ko naibenta lahat, that equals to 160,000. Therefore, yung total gross profit ko lang dyan is 2 million less 1,080 less 160, that is equal to 760,000. Yung total operating expenses ko, variable yan, 5 pesos. Ang nabenta ko, 40,000. 5 multiply it by 40,000, that is equal to 200,000 pesos. Fixed overhead ko, magkano yan? Okay, nasa 50,000 pesos per year. Tama? Which is, since period yan, expense yan outright, hindi yan ini-inventory, total cost ko dyan, 50,000 pesos din talaga. Okay, therefore, 760,000 less 250,000. 760 less 250, this is equal to 510,000 of net income. Magkaiba na, di ba? Kasi nga, ito, total units na na-produce or na-benta ko, 50,000. Ito, total units na na-benta ko lang, 40,000. Try natin sa variable costing. Variable costing, 2 million ng sales. Units na na-produce, 40,000. Magkano variable cost ko ulit dyan? Okay, variable cost sa product costing. Ito, 10, 8, 9. 10 plus 8 plus 9, that is equal to 27. Multiplied it by 40,000, that is equal to 1,080,000. Pareho lang. Period cost ko na variable, meron ba? Yes, ito. 5, tama. Ito, 5. Variable selling and admin, 5. Iaangat ko lang yan. Nandito yan kanina. Iaangat ko lang yan dito. 5 times 40,000, that is equal to 200,000. Yung total contribution margin ko ngayon is 2 million less 1,080 less 200,000, that is equal to 720,000 of contribution margin. Fixed cost ko. Product cost ko sa fixed cost. Fixed yan. 'Di ba? Fixed yan. Pag fixed yan, mabibenta ko yan or mag-i-insure ko yan or ma-claim ko yan as cost outright pag variable costing. So dito, 200,000. Yun yung difference. Dito, yung fixed product cost ko, 160 lang. Dito, yung fixed product cost ko, 200,000 na. Yung period cost ko dito, na fixed, still pareho, 50,000. Therefore, yung total net income ko dito, 2 million, less 1,080, less 200, 720, less 200, less 50, that is equal to 470,000. May difference, tama. May ibig sabihin, meron ng difference sa total net income with regards to absorption and variable costing ko kapag hindi na equal yung units na na-produce ko dun sa units na nabenta ko. Okay. So ngayon, ano yung difference? Magkano? 510 less 470, that is equal to 40,000. Familiar? Ayun Isa lang yung cost ng difference ng absorption and variable costing. Yung fixed product cost. Fixed overhead, 160 sa absorption, 200,000 sa variable. Ang reason lang ulit bakit 160 lang ito sa absorption costing, kasi nga, yung 160,000, ina-allocate natin yan sa total units na na-produce 50,000. Ang nabenta lang, 40,000 units. Therefore, magkano yung cost of goods sold natin? 160,000. Balikan mo lang yung concept natin dito. Yung total fixed cost ko na 200,000, yes, nabayaran ko na yan. I-assume mo, nabayaran mo na yan. Pero those are not expense outright kasi nga product cost yan. Inventoriable cost lang yan. Kiniklaim mo lang yan as expense kapag nabenta. Therefore, yung total expense lang dapat natin dito, yung amount lang na nabenta. Magkano ba ang nabenta? 40,000 units. Magkano ba ang na-produce? 50,000. Dapat yung total cost of goods sold lang natin is up to 40,000 units lang. Okay? Sana malinaw. Okay, so yan yung difference ng dalawa na yan. Okay, yung absorption and variable costing, ang number one difference lang nila, bakit merong variation or merong discrepancy sa net income ng absorption and variable costing is dahil hindi equal yung units na na-produce sa units na nabenta. Na ang number one cost ng difference nila is yung total fixed overhead. Pag variable costing daw kasi, yung 200,000 considered na siya as fixed cost, which is expense na yan outright. Okay, take note mo to. Kapag usapang variable costing, all expense or all fixed cost are expense outright. Yan, regardless of the units na na-produce or nabenta, hindi man equal, lahat ng fixed cost, expense yan outright. With regards to absorption costing, nangyayari dyan, fixed costs are being absorbed. From the word itself, absorption costing, ina-absorb yan ng units produced. Okay? Ina-allocate mo kasi yan sa units na na-produce natin. And sabi daw, expense lang daw yan, expense if considered as sold. Malinaw. Kaya, so ito yung problema natin ngayon sa absorption and variable costing with regards to product costing. Usually, magkaiba yung net income natin sa absorption and sa variable costing. And mas gusto ni management si variable costing. Okay? Kasi parang ang nagiging assumption daw nila, cost ko na yan eh. Fixed overhead, cost ko na yan eh. Ibig sabihin, yung total cost ko talaga o yung total income ko talaga lang for 70,000. Kasi regardless, yung difference ko na 40,000, nabayaran ko na yan. May incur ko na as expense yan. So yung total income ko lang daw talaga for 70. Kaso si absorption costing kasi in accordance with PFRS. And sa PFRS natin, meron tayong tinatawag na accrual basis. We only claim expenses or nire-recognize mo lang expenses once incurred. Dito, ma-recognize mo lang expense yung fixed overhead kapag nabenta mo na, accrual basis. Sa kay management kasi, walang accrual basis. Ang pinag-uusapan nila dito, magkano na ba yung nabenta ko? And magkano ba yung total cost ko sa mga nabenta ko na? Magkano na ba yung mga total cost ko na yan? That is your total net income. Kaya, so dito tayo magkakatalo ngayon with regards to the differences as to the net income of absorption and variable costing. Ngayon, meron minsan ang tinatanong sa atin with regards to absorption and variable costing, magkano daw yung total ending inventory ng variable and absorption costing. Hanapin mo lang for example dito, 40,000 units. Ang na-produce ko daw 50,000 units. So meron akong total units na hindi na-produce na 10,000. O pag hinanap lang, for example, ang hinanap sa atin, ending inventory kay absorption and kay variable. O anong gagawin lang natin dyan? O si absorption costing, total inventory na hindi nabenta, 10,000. Ano yung absorption costing? Ano yung mga kasama sa total inventories na hindi ko nabenta? Diba yung mga product cost ko, which is it composes of your 10, 8, 9. 10 plus 8 plus 9, ito yan. Yung kanina, multiplied by 10,000, that is equal to 270,000. Plus yung fixed ko dito, 160,000 yan, diba? Dapat 200 yan, plus 40,000. Or, that is, di ba sinabi natin kanina, 200,000 yung units o yung total fixed cost ko, divided by units na na-produce ko 50,000, 4 pesos, ang nabenta ko lang 40,000, ibig sabihin yung 10,000 part ng ending inventory, 40,000. Add ako ng 40,000. Pero pag variable costing, yung total cost of inventory lang, ending inventory ko lang is ito lang, 10, 8, and 9 lang. 10 plus 8 plus 9, 27 multiplied by 10,000, that is equal to 270,000 lang din. Bakit nga? Kasi nga, ang total fixed cost are expense outright, 200,000. So, ang difference lang din ulit, yung total fixed overhead. Okay? So, ngayon, pahihirapan ka ng problem, minsan, ang sinasabi niyan, binibigay given, net income ng absorption costing, 510. Ang itatanong sa'yo, magkano yung total variable cost ko magkano yung total net income ko sa variable costing? And vice versa. Possible ang tanongin, total net ang binigay sa'yo, variable cost, net income. Ang hinahanap sa'yo, variable absorption costing, net income. Okay, minsan din tatanungin, binibigay sa'yo, absorption costing, ending inventory. Ang hahanapin sa'yo, ending inventory sa variable costing. Paano mo sasagutan yon? Dito tayo. Turuan kita paano mag-reconcile ng variable and absorption costing. Ito, i-notice mo. Okay? If the total units produced is equal to the units sold, usually yung variable costing ko is equal to your absorption net income. Ito yan. Diba? Pag equal, na-produce ko 50,000, nabenta ko 50,000, total net income ko equal. So take note mo yan. And, i-assume mo, kapag yung total production ko is hindi equal sa total na nabenta ko, yung variable income ko is not equal to the absorption net income. Ito yung example natin dyan. May difference na 40,000. Tama? Ngayon, ang question ngayon dyan, paano ko malalaman kung ano yung mas mataas? Variable o absorption costing? O yung absorption costing ang mas mataas ko? O baka yung variable costing? Tingnan natin ngayon yan. Okay? Yung number one reason bakit hindi equal yung units na produce and units na nabenta ko is possible. Unang-una, okay? Tingnan mo yung computation ng total cost of goods sold natin. Beginning inventory plus units produced is equal to your total units available for sale less ending inventory, that is equal to your cost of goods sold. Tama? Ano nangyayari dyan? I-assume natin, wala kang beginning inventory, wala kang ending inventory. Nangyayari, i-assume natin yung units na na-produce mo, lahat daw yan nabenta natin kasi wala kang ending inventory. Therefore, yung cost of goods sold ko, 100,000. Yan yung production is equal to sale. And tandaan mo, if production is equal to sale, your total variable costing is equal to your total absorption net income. Okay, i-assume mo, beginning inventory ko 0 kasi first year of operation mo yan. Ang total na na-produce ko, 100,000. Ang hindi ko na ibenta, 20,000. Ibig sabihin nyo na ibenta ko lang, 80,000. Ang nangyari, total production is not equal to the total unit sold. Okay? So yan yung one reason bakit hindi nag-i-equal yung production and sold kasi meron kang ending inventory. In addition of that, what if, for example, second year of operation, yung total ending inventory mo, syempre beginning inventory mo yan next year. So meron ka ngayong beginning inventory dito, sabihin na natin yung total na na-produce mo pa rin, 100,000. Ang total units na pwede mong ibenta, 120, i-assume natin wala kang ending inventory, ang total cost of goods sold ko, 120,000. Ano nangyari? Yung total units na na-produce ko, 100. Ang total units na nabenta ko, 120,000. My production is not equal to my units sold. So dalawa yung reason kung bakit hindi nag-equal yung production and sold ko. Kapag daw merong beginning inventory and kapag merong ending inventory. Malinaw. Okay, so ngayon, paano mo ngayon i-analyze yung mga ganyang questions? Ito na lang, isipin mo. Okay? Kapag yung units na na-produce ko, ito, 100,000. Is greater than the units na sold ko kasi 80,000 lang nabenta ko. So, mas mataas yung units na na-produce ko kaysa dun sa units na nabenta ko. Ang assumption natin, fixed cost absorbed is less than the total fixed cost. Okay, ibig sabihin, yung total fixed cost ko, for example, 200,000, yung total lang na fixed cost ko na mai-incur ko dito is mas mababa. Okay? Ang nangyari ngayon, mas mababa yung cost of goods sold ko. Kaya ang nangyari, mas mataas yung net income ko. Okay? Kapag naman nandito, if my units produced is less than my units sold, ibig sabihin, nandito yung portion ng fixed cost ko. Kaya ang nangyari, mas mataas yung total fixed cost ko. Therefore, mas mataas yung cost of goods sold ko. Kaya ano nangyayari? Mas mababa yung net income. Ulitin natin. Okay, ulitin natin. Yung units na na-produce ko is greater than the units sold. Ibig sabihin, ang difference ulit kanina, di ba? Ang difference natin kanina, yung total fixed. Di ba? Dito tayo nagkakatalo, di ba? Yung difference natin. So, pag meron akong hindi na ibenta, ibig sabihin yung fixed cost ko na naka-allocate dito sa 20,000 na ending inventory ko, hindi yan part ng cost of goods sold. Therefore, ano nangyayari? Mas mababa yung total fixed cost ko na na-absorb ng absorption costing. Kaya nangyari, mas mababa ang cost of goods sold. Therefore, mas mataas ang net income. On the other way around, pag yung fixed cost ko, or meron akong beginning inventory dito, dyan napunta ngayon yung fixed cost ko na nandito. Therefore, yung fixed cost na na-absorb is mas mataas na sa total fixed cost ko. Therefore, higher ang cost of goods sold and lower ang net income. Meaning, pag nalilito ka pa dyan, ito na lang tandaan mo. Tandaan mo na lang, birth certificate. Okay? Birth certificate. PSA, Philippine Statistic Authority. I-plot mo dyan, PSA. Yan ang magiging clue mo. PSA. Tapos i-analyze mo na lang dyan. Pag daw yung units na na-produce ko is mas mataas dun sa units na nabenta ko, greater than, mas mataas. Yung A ko, mas mataas daw kaysa sa sa variable costing. PSA. Okay? If my units produced is greater than the units sold, my absorption costing is greater than the variable costing. Diba? Yan. PSA. Okay? If my units produced is greater than the units sold, my absorption costing is greater than my variable costing. Yung net income ko daw sa absorption costing is mas mataas daw sa net income ko sa variable costing. If my units produced is less than to the units sold, mas mababa daw ang absorption costing net income ko. If my units produced is less than my units sold, my absorption costing net income is less than my variable costing net income. PSA. Okay? Philippine Statistics Authority. Yan na yung magiging clue natin dyan. I-try mo. I-try mo. Illustration. A company budgeted fixed overhead cost at 500,000 pesos with normal capacity of 50,000 units. Net income for 3 periods are as follows. Okay, gawin mo. Sabi daw, meron ka daw net income 70,000, 80,000, and 75,000 for the 3 periods. Yung units na na-produce ko daw ng period 1, 50,000. Yung units na nabenta ko ng period 1, 40,000. Ano nangyari? Yung units na nabenta ko, mas mataas dun sa units na, o yung units na na-produce ko, mas mataas dun sa units na nabenta ko. Tama, 50,000 is greater than the 40,000. Plot mo, P is greater than S. Therefore, my absorption costing is higher than my variable costing. Tandaan mo na yan. Ganyan dapat yan. Ngayon, period 2, 80,000 pesos, yung total net income ko. 50,000 yung units na na-produce, 55,000 yung nabenta, therefore, my units produced is less than my units sold. Kaya mangyayari, dapat yung absorption costing ko is less than the variable costing. Pag period 3 naman daw, 75,000 ng net income, 50,000 ng units na na-produce, 50,000 ng units na nabenta, P is equal to S, therefore, my absorption costing is equal to my variable costing. Ano mangyayari? Requirement. Assume company uses variable costing. How much is net income in absorption costing? I-assume natin. Variable costing daw yung mga yan. Yan na. 70,000 variable costing. 80,000 variable costing net income. Period 3, 75,000 variable costing net income. Ang hinahanap, absorption costing. Period 1. P is greater than S. Therefore, my absorption costing is dapat mas mataas. Dapat mas mataas yan. Ano ngayon yung number na? Ano na ngayon yung number dyan? Ano ba yung difference? 'Di ba? Ano ba yung cost? Bakit naiiba? Ang total net income natin sa absorption and variable costing. Ano sinabi natin kanina? 'Di ba? Yung fixed. 'Di ba? Fixed overhead. So hanapin mo, magkano ba fixed overhead? 500,000 daw. Estimated daw 'yan. Magkano daw normal capacity? 'Di ba? If we apply normal costing, sinabi natin, pag normal costing, para mahanap mo yung fixed cost per unit natin, that is your total estimated fixed cost divided by the normal capacity. Magkano total estimated fixed cost? 500,000. Magkano normal capacity? 50,000 units. Therefore, my total fixed cost per unit is equal to 1 pesos. Okay? Yung total na hindi ko nabenta, ang difference dito, total na hindi ko nabenta, magkano? 10,000 units. So, 10,000 multiplied by 1,000, that is equal to 10,000 pesos. So, ang difference na itong dalawa, 10,000. Ang difference ng net income ni absorption and variable costing sa period 1, 10,000. Saan ang galing ulit? Yung piso dito times yung 10,000 na difference dito. Ibig sabihin, hindi ko na ibenta yung 10,000. Ending inventory ko yung 10,000. Yung 10,000 ko, may difference ako na 1 pesos na nanggaling sa fixed overhead. Sinabi ko, absorption costing is greater than my variable costing kasi nga my P is greater than S. Therefore, kung ang difference is 10,000, mas mataas ang absorption costing, my period 1 net income with regards to absorption costing is equal to 80,000. Easy. Diba? Kailangan mo lang alamin yan. PSA. P is greater than S. Therefore, my A is greater than my V. Yung absorption income ko is greater than my variable net income. Mas mataas yung absorption costing net income ko na ang difference nila, 10,000, na-compute ko, piso multiplied by 10,000, yung units na hindi ko nabenta. Try natin sa period 2. Sinabi natin, P is less than the S. Kasi yung units na na-produce ko, 50,000. Yung units na nabenta ko, 55. So, mas madami akong naibenta. Kung mas madami ako naibenta, yung absorption costing ko daw dapat mas mababa kaysa sa variable costing. Anong difference nilang dalawa? 'Di ba? 5,000 units. 5,000 units yung hindi o yung naibenta ko in excess dun sa units na na-produce ko. So, possible merong beginning inventory dyan na naibenta ko. Magkano yung fixed cost per unit? Piso. 5,000 times 1, 5,000 pesos. Ang difference nito, 5,000. Kung mas mababa yung absorption costing, therefore, 80 minus 5,000. That is 75,000. Basic. Period 3, equal yan. P is equal to S. Dapat, yung absorption costing is equal to my variable costing. No-brainer, 75,000. Diba? Pag tinatanong sa'yo dyan, ending inventory, isipin mo na lang, kung binigay sa'yo yung ending inventory ng variable costing, for example, ending inventory, binigay sa'yo variable costing, 20,000 ending inventory, 20,000 sa second period, and 20,000 din sa year 3. Ang hinahanap sa'yo, absorption costing. Anong gagawin mo? 'Di ba? Ang difference lang ulit nila, yung fixed cost per unit, piso. 'Di ba? Ang hindi na ibenta dito daw, 10,000 units. 10,000 units times 1, 10 pesos. Ibig sabihin, ang difference ng ending inventory nila is nasa 10,000 pesos. 'Di ba? Ano nangyari ngayon? Kung hindi na ibenta, kung mas mataas ang net income neto, ibig sabihin dapat mas mababa ang cost of goods sold. Kung mas mababa ang cost of goods sold, ibig sabihin yung ending inventory dapat mas mataas. Therefore, yung absorption income or yung absorption ending inventory ko is nasa or dapat mas mataas ng 10,000. Okay? 30,000 dapat ito. Okay, same pa rin. PSA pa rin. With regards to ending inventory naman, kapag mas mataas yung units na na-produce ko over my units sold, ibig sabihin, may naiwan dyan. Mas marami yan ngayong cost yung ending inventory ko. 30,000. Ang difference, yung fixed overhead. Same sa 2. Sa 2, hindi ko naibenta, mas marami ako naibenta na 5,000. Kung ang ending inventory ko sa variable costing is 20,000, ibig sabihin yung ending inventory ko sa variable costing is sa baba. Magkano ang difference? 5,000. Therefore, ito, ang ending inventory ko, 15,000. And sa year 3, pareho lang yan. 20,000. Diba? Madali lang si product costing. Madali lang si product costing pag naintindihan mo. Ano ba ang product costing? Okay? Ano ba yung product cost and period cost? Kailangan mo i-master yan. That's one. And kailangan mong intindihin na si product cost pwedeng variable and fixed, si period cost pwedeng variable and fixed. Na si product cost, inventoriable cost, si period cost, expense outright. And sa product costing, we apply normal costing. Na pag normal costing, variable cost are an actual cost, fixed cost is an estimated cost. Naka-based yan sa normal production capacity. And dapat mong maintindihan yung relationship ng total variable cost and ng total fixed cost and yung variable cost per unit and yung fixed cost per unit with regards to the activity driver. Intindihin natin yan. Okay? And kailangan mong maintindihan yung difference ng absorption and variable costing. Bakit kailangan yan? Kasi nga yung variable for management decision making. Si absorption in relation sa PFRS, financial accounting. Okay? And usually, nagkakaroon ng difference si absorption and variable costing kapag yung units na na-produce is not equal to the units sold. Na ang difference, possible na mas mataas yung units na na-produce kaysa sa units na na-sold, or mas mataas yung units na nabenta kaysa sa units na na-produced. Para hindi ka malito, we apply PSA. If P is greater than S, your absorption net income is greater than the variable net income. If P is less than S, your total absorption net income is less than to your total variable net income. Same as well sa ending inventory. If P is greater than S, mas marami kang na-produce kaysa sa nabenta, ibig sabihin, mas mataas ngayon yung ending inventory ko sa absorption costing kaysa sa variable costing. And pag yung P is less than S, mas marami kang nabenta. Ibig sabihin, mas konti yung ending inventory ko sa absorption costing kaysa sa variable costing. And yung difference lang ng income and ending inventory ng absorption and variable costing, ang main cause of difference lang yan is yung fixed per unit. Okay, fixed cost per unit natin, i-multiply mo lang doon sa units, yung difference ng units produced and units sold. So, yun lang for product costing. Okay? Try natin magsagot ng mas maraming handouts or mas maraming questions, multiple choice questions with regards to theories and problem solving, siguro by next video discussion. For now, sana may natutunan ka. Yun lang. Good luck, God bless, and ciao!